Coogan Cassius, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at the final press conference here for Dave Allen versus Lucas Brown.
Well,
Main event.
You've done your job. You know, the people have spoken.
You worked very hard at that.
I know, yeah.
It worked.
I hope he's paying you.
What?
I hope he's paying you. You know, we had to double his money because he's main event. So I hope you got some commission. Right, mate?
Adam, how are you?
Hello, Adam.
You good?
Got the champion on. Smart.
David, all right? Nice to see you. You good? Nice to see you.
You alright? Do you want to join or? You're alright, okay. Alright, no problem. Can you stand back? Just cut to it, a bit of a nightmare 24 hours, Adam?
I was on holiday, so yeah, it was. I was having a couple of days break with the kids, and
How was those 24 hours?
it wasn't very good. Listen, I mean, you know, there's never a rest in boxing, is there? There's always something. Yeah, it's terrible news. Very much looking forward to the AJ Jarrell Miller fight in New York on June the 1st. Obviously, he's failed the A sample. We wait to see what happens with the B sample. If, as expected, he fails that, then he won't fight. And Eddie has to find an opponent that we all agree on. Most importantly, AJ, who's training away in Sheffield.
The New York State Commission have
Yeah, that
denied.
doesn't really mean it.
Right.
I saw that last night and people were asking me for my comments. All it means, obviously, we know that as it stands, he's not going to be licensed. The only way that will change is if the B sample is negative. Very unlikely, to be honest with you. But if the B sample was negative, then they would grant him a licence. But again, very unlikely. So for us now, we're speaking every couple of hours. There's a list of, 6 or 7 very credible guys that we're going through, seeing if they're actually interested, seeing what's available, what deal can be done. And there's a lot of people flying over at the weekend to talk about the fight, and there'll be an announcement from us early, mid next week about his new opponent. You know, we probably have to strengthen the undercard a little bit more. Obviously, Katie Taylor's undisputed fight was announced, Callum Smith, hopefully Josh Kelly gets through here, Joshua Boatsi, and we're going to have to probably add another big heavyweight fight as well. But for us, the show goes on. It's the AJ debut in New York. He's training very hard, he's had an amazing start to camp. And it's boxing. I mean, the only pleasing thing is this is the reason we do VADA testing. You know, so it's like, although
The situation could have been worse.
yeah, I mean the situation could be worse.
Yeah.
We didn't have VADA testing, and he went in to a fight, or not just Jarrell, a fighter goes into a fight.
This is why it's so important.
With an edge, and like something could happen in that fight. This isn't a game of chess. So, although as a team we're gutted, AJ weren't surprised, but sometimes we thought someone we fought in the past might have failed, and we might not have been surprised.
You said he wasn't surprised. Is that because he thought that he was on something before, or what?
You know, he's fought a couple of
There
people
was VADA testing in place, wasn't there, for
that
a
have
reason?
failed tests before, and Jarrell's one of them. You know, it's tough because Jarrell will flat deny that he took. But
Denied it, hasn't he?
What did you make of his statement he put out
Listen,
yesterday?
I like Jarrell Miller, and it's hard not to believe. We always have this conversation about he should be banned from the sport, and there's so many people like Kid Galahad and people like that who say no. Lucas Brown, no, I was in Russia, and but you just don't know. But the fact is it's your responsibility. So forget will he ever be allowed to fight again? What I'm saying is he has failed a VADA test. He's out if that's the case. That's why it's there, and we can't, as a sport, allow people to enter into a ring who have been taking performance-enhancing drugs. And this isn't even about Jarrell Miller. This is about a massive global problem in the sport of boxing. But the problem is with the VADA testing that we do, it's 30 grand a fight. So if you're going to do that for the entire card, it's like £250,000 to test people for 14, 16 weeks from the start. For any promotion, it's just too much money. So in America, for me, I've said this in multiple interviews with you, there's too much cheating because no one's getting tested. The only time you're getting tested is on fight night. It's a complete waste of time. Josh is not just getting tested by VADA, he's getting UCAD. I reckon he's been in camp for 5 weeks. I reckon he's had 5 or 6 VADA tests. I reckon he's had 4 UCAD tests.
Which is great.
But otherwise it's the only way to get it out. So you have an occasion here where a guy has taken illegal substance or whatever it is, and he's been found out. So I would much rather he was in the fight, but we have to try and understand that it's actually, although people are not going to see it as a good thing that he's not fighting, it's a good thing that this has been found, because I don't want to put my fighter in with a fighter who has an edge who has extra strength and extra. It's like
It's a
shouldn't
terrible
be allowed.
outcome, but that's why VADA testing is so important. It's crucial, and I think that you have to have a level playing field, but you cannot have drugs in.
You know,
in
say
sport.
that you
That's
put
the
a
whole
fighter in a
point.
fight. You know, it might have been anti-Joshua, and you get there and like 8 or 9 rounds in, and this guy's just still going, and and AJ gets knocked out. He gets hurt. His career could be over. That's happened in a fight where a guy has been taking illegal substances to get an edge. So actually, even telling you that now makes me feel sick, and actually makes me even more happier that we've found this rather than not finding it.
And 6 weeks to go as well. There's time to find a replacement. There's time to do something
if
about
it
it. I mean,
if it was 2 weeks, we'd be fucked.
Well, we've had
basically.
Carlos Takam come in for the injury of Pulev.
But he
10
was
days
already in
before.
place, wasn't
He
he?
was, but there's a lot of heavyweights that are training. They don't have to make weight. We started reaching out to heavyweights Tuesday, so it was just under 7 weeks. It's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time.
So it's not. Some people use the time as an excuse for not taking a fight, but
Miller put this statement out categorically denying any wrongdoing or knowingly taking whatever, but it is irrelevant really the reasonings why. The fact is what you suggested, it's happened, he's failed the test.
The fact is he's failed it.
Yeah.
End of. And if he fails the B sample, then he's rightfully shouldn't be fighting on June the 1st, and he has to take whatever ban he gets, whatever suspension he gets, and he has to accept it, whether it's intentional or not intentional. He's failed the VADA drugs test, and that's what it was in place for, to make sure that both fighters went in clean, and he's failed it. Whether it's intention, which he'll deny, or not, he's failed it, and the New York Athletic Commission are absolutely right. Obviously, we don't know about the B sample yet, but if the B sample is as we expected,
as a fighter and
to fail,
athlete,
he's out.
You have to be completely responsible for everything that goes in. We've seen it before. Fury, Billy Joe. I don't believe a lot of these people intentionally were cheating, but they've taken substances on a ban list.
We had
and
it with
they've signed-
Canelo.
Yeah, and they've signed to VADA. But we don't know. The truth is we don't know whether Canelo was cheating. We don't know if Miller was cheating. We don't know if
You
Billy
don't
was
know
cheating.
anyone.
We don't.
No, we don't.
Anyone.
We
That's
don't.
the truth.
But the tests are there for a reason.
So therefore, you have to take that out of the equation.
One rule for everyone, otherwise you
and
start...
this is the rules.
yeah.
These are substances.
But as he said, the problem is that not everybody is being VADA tested because of the money involved. Now, there's a lot of money in boxing now. Maybe it should be that for all big fights, VADA testing should come in because it is so important.
For the big fights, they're generally, unless one party doesn't want VADA testing.
Which is suspicious anyway.
Yeah, generally. I mean, even, I don't know, Dillion's fights, all VADA tested. Joshua's fights, all VADA tested. Usyk against Takam, that's VADA tested. Canelo Jacobs, that's VADA tested. There's VADA testing, there's VADA testing. What the WBC do is great. They've got random VADA testing, which you have to sign up for if you want to be ranked. So if you're not a champion...
A lot of people don't sign up for that as well,
this
don't
is
they?
worrying. But I'm saying is, if you want to be
Shouldn't
ranked...
they have to sign up for it?
You should. If you want to be ranked...
If you want to fight.
In a governing body,
you
you
wanna
have to sign up for that. So, but, ultimately... This is a problem.
Not a good 24 hours for the sport.
The problem is with the WBC testing, as good as it is, and they're doing an amazing job, we've got fighters with the WBC in there who have never been VADA tested. With the additional VADA testing that we employ, you're getting tested once, twice every week, obviously on a random basis as well. So if you're cheating, you're going to get found out. And we've seen VADA, again, Billy Joe and Jarrell, that's 2 in like 4 months or something like that. And there's others as well. Some you don't even hear about.
Where does this kind of leave you with working with Jarrell Miller in
That's a good question.
in the
he's
future?
going to
Because
he's going to have to go through the process, take his licks, take his ban, and then we'll see what happens. But right now, that's the furthest thing out of my mind. It's just who are we fighting on June the 1st? Finalise the undercard, strengthen it, and get ready for a big night.
has Kawanaki ruled himself out?
Publicly, yeah, pretty much.
And Pulev, Bob Aaron said that Pulev won't be an
Pulev's
option
guys
even.
I'm speaking to. One of the first calls I had was with Jay Jimenez, who is Luis Ortiz's guy.
I like Ortiz.
Yeah, who said,
Everyone does, yeah.
we're not going to be ready. We said, we're not going to be ready. I said, you've got time, mate.
It's a big, dangerous southpaw, very different.
But didn't Luis
obviously,
Ortiz say if his manager says that he would be ready, then he would be ready?
He
or
said he wouldn't be ready.
Why can't he be ready in
That's
6
what I
and a half
said.
weeks?
That's what I said. But he was the first person I spoke to. He went, look, we won't be ready, bro. I said, okay. I said, look, it's 7 weeks.
It's a lot of money on
Have
the table,
you?
isn't there?
Is the shortlist getting shorter since
will do.
yesterday?
That's what
no,
happens,
but since yesterday.
Not really. No, not really. And there's been a couple more since we spoke that have come on, and there will be as well, because someone will sit at home and go, do you know what? I've seen this lovely car. You know what I mean? Seen this lovely
What
house
about
down the
Dylan
road.
White? What about Dylan White?
Dylan's boxing in July. There'll be an announcement very soon on that. He ain't fighting June the 1st.
It doesn't feel right, that at all.
I spoke to him yesterday. He told me a
spoke to
number he
him?
wanted. Yeah, but it was all like it wasn't tongue in cheek, but it was like.
Haven't we been through that earlier in the year? I think let's get him out.
I'd like an American. We'd all like an American or someone that
Someone
has,
known in America,
exactly,
in the
or
American
someone
market.
who has boxed in America, has profile in America, etc.
So Michael Hunter, is he
He's on the list.
on the list? Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Fighter, American.
Trevor Bryan.
Not really. In fact, the first call I had, sorry, it wasn't Jay Jimenez, it was Don King. when Dan Raphael broke the news, a minute later, I had a voicemail from Don King saying,
Wow.
God bless
No,
America.
I'll tell you what he said.
Wow.
He
He still wants to be in the
This is what he
picture,
said.
doesn't he?
Eddie, it's Don King. I'll play the voicemail because it's classic. He says, I heard your news. You need some help. I'm here for you, my man. Or something like that. I'm like, thanks, Don. But what a hustler.
Was he offering you anyone?
Trevor Bryan.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
with
number
Trevor
one
Bryan.
WBA, but hasn't got the profile for that fight.
Eddie, just a quick one. David Lemieux confirmed as out yesterday with a hand injury.
Yeah, so
It's a big shame.
there's another fight for John Ryder on that card that we're working on at the moment.
Ryder's still on the bill.
At the moment, we're waiting for the WBA confirmation.
Will that be chief support or there'll be
yes.
another one?
I don't know what Golden Boy will do, but most importantly, it's a good fight. And Ryder, we want him on that card. It's a massive opportunity for him.
So one way or another, next week, by the end of next week, we'll know who he's fighting.
100%.
We
Joshua.
need to.
Yeah.
Everybody
100%.
needs to, especially Joshua and Rob McCracken.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to. They're preparing for
By
one
the end of next
style
week,
and then-
there will be an announcement, probably earlier. And you'll also know Dillian White's opponent by the end of next week as well. So
Oh, really?
it's going to be a busy weekend.
A double ender.
Busy
next week.
times. Although it's been a difficult 24 hours, listen, we've got a great lineup on Saturday, haven't we? David Allen, Derek Chisora, Josh Kelly, Joe Cordina, Conor Benn. It's a great card. Shannon Courtney, loads on. So looking forward to the O2.
Gashi has told me
Do you know what? There's so many
he's
people.
knocking Chisora out in the 7th
Right,
round.
there is so
Seven.
many
Yeah,
people.
7th round, left hook.
There is so many people that have put money on Gashi in this fight, who I know have gone. Oh, what? I fancy
Hopefully not Dave Caldwell, because
And-
he says that
Well,
Derek's looking great.
David Hay phoned me yesterday and said, "What do you think?" And I went, "What?" And he went, "Chisora, June 1." I was like, "What, on the undercard?" He went, "No, fighting AJ." I was like, "Don't know." I went, "Get through Gashi," but he's going to be calling him out. But I would like to make Chisora.
He has just come out for knockout to Dillian White.
Yeah, I would like. But he was winning the fight. I would like to make Chisora on the undercard now of Joshua.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd love to do the Parker.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Chisora Parker on
Yeah,
the card,
that
that'd be
makes
great.
sense.
We
Yeah.
just need an opponent for Joshua, that's the most important thing.
Adam, Edward, thank
Cheers,
you
mate.
very much.
Thank you.
I'm ready to get the ball